Okay, so to continue on with embellishing our little lemon sign that we created, I did put the transfer and some chalk paste directly on this burlap, but I don't feel like it shows up really well. I could have done it in a green, but I didn't have that color over here with me during my live. So what I've decided to do instead is I'm gonna make a 3D element. So instead of just doing it directly on the burlap, I'm gonna make a little accessory piece. Some people call it ephemera. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, I'm going to use this little transfer stencil that came with the set, and I believe that that is probably a lemon bloom. I have a little lemon tree out back. I should check. But isn't it that adorable? I love that. As you can see, I've used this before. I did it on that burlap as I showed you. So the vinyl here is a little stained, but it's clean. It's just stained. And that is perfectly fine as long as my silk screen area is clear, because that's where my chalk is going to go through, and I want to make sure I get the good image. So what you want to do is get some type of paper. You could even use a piece of foam if you wanted. I'm going to use paper because I want to manipulate it a little bit. And this is actually a piece that I cut off of one of our 12 by 12 ChalkSuede papers, which is our specially coated paper used that is specially coated to use with our transfer stencils. Now, some people wax it. I did put a little layer of wax on this. Some people wax it, some people don't. If you choose not to wax it, just make sure you fuzz your transfer a lot, because this is sticky and it will grab a hold of your ChalkSuede paper, well, really a lot. And when you go to pull it off, it may, it's not going to necessarily stretch your transfer, but it may make it so that it curls because it's grabbed it so tight. So I usually wax my paper a little bit, but that's completely up to you. And I'm actually going to reuse this. I'm going to try to use it like 3 times with this particular transfer before I even wash it. And I'm going to fussy cut it so it doesn't matter where I put it. I'm just going to start right here, press it down, and then I'm going to take my yellow. I'm going to take my detail tool this time because it's a nice small little squeegee, and it's going to get in just on those areas that I need to do with the chalk paste. Since it's a little small transfer, I can do that. I like to do that when I'm working in detailed little spots. This one, I could have used a different type of squeegee with it, but I like to use this detail tool whenever I can. And this is just yet another way to add another element to your projects, whatever you're doing. And guys, you can even use these in scrapbook pages, on cards, gift tags, whatever you want to use. Okay, so I'm done with the yellow right now. Actually, I think I'm going to do 2 yellow, you guys. I think I'm going to do 2 in yellow, and then I'm going to do 1 in my green. I pulled out a green. So I am going to do that again. And if I move quickly, chalk paste dries, the matte colors dry in about 5 minutes or less. If I had my ceiling fan on, it would be even less than 5 minutes, but I turned it off. The shimmers, it usually takes about 7 or 8 because it's got the extra elements in it that, you know, make it a shimmer. And normally we would tell you wash your transfer after you've used it. But if I work quickly enough, which I'm trying to do with this, then I can get these designs done quick enough that the chalk paste is not going to dry in my silk screen so that I can reuse it. So now I'm going to do one in green right down here. And guess what? I'm not even going to, I need to be careful I don't touch that because that is wet chalk over there. I am not even going to wash my transfer. I'm going to let the yellow work in with the green. I am fine with doing that. So we're going to grab our green chalk paste. This color is called Shimmer Spruce, and it's an oldie but a goodie. I love this one. It's a nice dark green color, and it's got shimmer in it. We actually have a new color of the month this month called Scout, and if I had that, I probably would be using that, although it is much more of a Kelly green, and the green that I have on my little project that I made, my little upcycle, is a little bit darker than Kelly, so I feel like the spruce would probably still be the best choice. So I say I would use it if I had it yet, but I'm not sure that I would. So I just wanted to do 3 elements with that same design. And like I said, because I moved quickly enough, I should be able to get 3 of them out. Let me see. So see, I can still, and even though you can see a little hint of yellow in there. So I love those. I'm gonna let those, I'm gonna set this over actually and spray some water on it until I can wash it in the sink. Close up my chalk paste. Oops, I flipped the lid on that. I didn't mean to. Close them up because you want to always keep them moist. That's what makes them nice and fluid to go through our silk screens. And I am going to get my little handy dandy air dryer. So this is not a blow dryer. It just puts out air, not hot air. And I'm just going to speed up my process. Oh, I got a little bit of shimmer on there, but I'm going to let it be. I'm just going to speed it up so that I can go ahead and fussy cut these out and assemble them. And I really could have gotten a couple more on here if I wanted to in that particular size paper. Probably fine. I'm just doing a little extra for good measure. And then I take a pair of scissors that are going to let me, that are pretty small, and are going to let me get around all these little small elements. These are ones that I've grabbed from Walmart. They're actually supposed to be used for, I I think embroidery, or they were in the embroidery section. And then it's up to you how close you want to cut it. I am going to try to keep a little bit of a border on it, a little bit of an outline on it. That's completely personal choice. And we just call this particular thing that we're doing right now fussy cutting. I don't know why it's called fussy cutting, but it is. I really don't know. And like I said, you could even use these for like directly on scrapbook pages, or you could use them as little elements. And then if you have a little sticker maker like I have, you could turn them into a sticker. I keep saying I'm going to get back into that, and I have not yet, but that is definitely on my list for very soon to start doing. And I know that a lot of people still scrapbook. Some people don't, though. Some people just do these new like small photo books or junk journaling. You could use it for these types of things as well. And the cool thing is, you know, this is just one of many elements that came with this particular transfer stencil design. This is where I always struggle. I've got too much I'm working with, and I'm afraid I'm going to, so I cut it out a little bit smaller and then get in here to get these details. But I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. But the cool thing is with all these little designs, as I was saying, is that you can use them in any different way. Like, it doesn't have to be just with this particular project. You can say, oh yeah, that's right. I remember I had that one stencil transfer that had those flowers on it, or that had that particular word on it, or that had a lemon on it, or that had whatever it was, a heart on it. So there's one. The longest part of the whole process is cutting it out, y'all. That's the cool thing, is that, you know, you can mix and match them and say, oh yeah, I want to add that together, and I want to create this. So I love that. And I'm not cutting these perfect, guys. It's okay not to have it completely perfect. I'm going to cut this guy out so I can manage it better. Both of them. And I feel like I'm wasting space. Look at all that I'm wasting. I'll probably save part of that, y'all. That's how, I wouldn't say frugal. I just hate wasting things. If I can figure out a use for it, I use it. I don't like to throw things away unless I'm sure I can't use it for something, which can be a problem. You end up with a lot of stuff. These are very tropical looking flowers. Could even use them for that purpose. And sometimes when you're creating, when I started out with this project, I did not have this in mind. I didn't even realize these little blooms were in the pack, in the stencil transfer pack. Sometimes as you're creating, you might start with a certain idea, and then other ones come to your mind while you're creating. And I love that about the creative process. It can evolve. And in this way, you know, expound, because it just becomes a little bit, even in my opinion, better by adding more elements. And I love a 3D element, so I'll skip this part or speed it up so y'all don't have to suffer through it. Okay, so now I have my 3 little elements. I could do a couple different things. I had a couple things in mind. I could either layer them like this. I could even layer them like this and kind of make them almost like 3D. I could put a little glue dot or something like that in between each one. Oh, that one's a little too pointy for me right there. Or you could layer it, like I said, with that. Or you could just take your surface that you're going to be working on, and you could place them around. So for example, I had that one there. I do like to work in 3s, and I could just layer them kind of like this over here. So that is probably what I'm going to do. Let's see if I have one I like better than the other. They look pretty similar. So I'll go ahead and I'm just going to apply a little bit of Stick Fast to this. I wouldn't use hot glue just because, again, if this particular piece that you've made might be exposed to any weather, I just find that the hot glue can come undone. Even storing it sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So we're just going to kind of layer this over top of what I just had chalked on there. And the Stick Fast does take a little bit to what do I want to say? Stick fast. It sticks fast, but it does take a little bit to kind of set up. So you have a few minutes like to work with it. Look, that didn't, I need some more here. You have a few minutes to work with it, but it will grab a hold. You will have to hold it kind of in place where you want it. So until it starts really adhering. So that's it. So now we've added a couple new elements to it. We've added, you know, a few beads up here. We've added this, and then we have one more piece of accessory that we're going to add to this to just finish this piece off and make it perfect. All right. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the last step.